$100,000 for H-1B visas for people who are replacing American jobs at lower wages. That's a good start. Making the UN pay the piper as far as funneling American taxpayer dollars to open up our borders and flood us with additional illegal immigrants. That's a good start. Let's start remembering the people who built this country. So, breaking this morning, President Trump then directly accused, this was just sent to me, the UN of, wow, I haven't seen this because we were alive, funding mass illegal migration. He stood before them and basically told them, it's your fault. I love it.
Your countries are being ruined. The United Nations is funding an assault on Western countries and their borders. In 2024, the UN budgeted $372 million in cash assistance to support an estimated 624,000 migrants journeying into the United States. Think of that. The UN is supporting people that are illegally coming into the United States, and then we have to get them out. The UN also provided food, shelter, transportation, and debit cards to illegal aliens. Can you believe that? On the way to infiltrate our southern border. Millions of people came through that southern border. Just a year ago, millions and millions of people were pouring in, 25 million altogether over the 4 years of the incompetent Biden administration. And now we have it stopped, totally stopped.
They showed who's coming.
They showed El Salvador. And like El Salvador's like, what is not us?
That was my cousin.
Yeah. What do you look at me for?
That's like the guy cheating on his wife getting exposed on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at you, El Salvador.
Think about that. Hey, the UN, they're not our friends. No. And I said that we'll only help the UN if every single nation meets their quota that they're supposed to pay and pays back all the years of back payments. Until then, you guys are on your own. How about that?
Yeah. I really hope that he basically, at some point, he makes the decision. And he's like, I'm going to do it. During the speech says, all right, get the out of here.
Yeah.
Like literally, no, meeting's adjourned. Leave the country.
I mean, this is a guy who doesn't care. And you know what? I think all of us feel this now. After what we've been through these last couple weeks, all of us, right? Charlie Kirk, people say we are Charlie Kirk. What does that mean? I think, and you can comment below, a lot of us are going, okay, I don't care anymore. I don't care what you call me. Because at the end of the day, we know if the left can, they will take your life. Mm-hmm. If you are significant enough, if you make enough of an impact, there's a leftist out there ready to take your life. And then there's an entire army of leftists willing to justify it.
Yes.
Willing to say that you deserved it.
Yeah, and misrepresent what you said along the way to say, see, that's why.
Right. So it's like, okay, I don't care. What? I've been through, I've been publicly extorted, right? The smear campaigns, every conservative, if they can't take your life, they'll take your name. I don't care anymore. All right, okay, fine. Whatever the New York Post, you want to say that an employee saw my balls in 2017? Sounds like me.
An employee saw your balls in 2025, by the way.
That was, come on, inside voice.
Wait, that was a different hat I was wearing. That was the friend hat.
Yes, that's right. It's like, who cares? They're going to take your life. What's the worst? Oh, no, we're not a part of the UN. We'll lose their protection?
Yeah.
They can't even meet their payments.
We're their protection.
Exactly.
I know.
But what if we need their rice?
Yeah.
No, we don't. But by the way, the money he was talking about that funded, that was our money.
Right.
We paid the UN in dues, and the UN turned around and funded people to come into our country illegally.
Yes.
That we then had to pay to remove.
Someone needs to be arrested at the UN.
I know.
They're like, this is the thing. There need to be consequences. Not only is the UN collectively, I'm sure there are some good ones in there, are they not our friend? They are trying to subvert your country. They're trying to screw you, the American worker, the American taxpayer. Because some bureaucrats at the UN, who, by the way, if you were as delinquent on your credit card payments as your house would have been repoed 35 years ago. To give you some context, those guys decided with your money, they were going to send in cheap labor and gang members and potentially terrorists. They don't know. So long as you have to deal with them here, they're not our friends.
They just leech off of us. We should rename the UN to our entourage. I can't say that word.
It's
entourage.
Hard. It's hard.
It's French. I hate it.
It is hard to say.
Yeah, they should be our entourage.
Yeah. No. That's what.
Yeah.
Except we don't want them in our entourage.
He mentioned
they're not even like the lesser Dillon brother.
I like that show. It's so douchey.
It is douchey.
It's for me. But he mentioned all this stuff about the U.S. He didn't even well, maybe he did later. I didn't even see him mention all the European countries that are affected by the immigration.
I think he said your policies are destroying your countries. I think he said your countries are turning into hellholes. Well,
that's not the same. I mean, like the amount of money. Like he gave specific amount of money and amount of immigrants that are coming into the U.S. But it's happening there too, and we can all see it on TV every day.
Yeah.
I hope he drove it home to them. Like, hey.
Yeah. Which brings us here to the next segment that we had prepared for today. And if there's breaking, you guys send it in to me. Yep. It's about H-1Bs. And you guys know, I believe it was earlier in the year, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy saying, hey, we should remove any cap to H-1Bs, as many as humanly possible. We should bring in as many Indians as humanly possible because they're more skilled and they're better workers than Americans, right? I disagreed with them. Donald Trump.
Go F yourself.
Yeah. Donald Trump
with him.
kind of was
we didn't know.
On the fence. Well, now, this administration, I think they heard you loud and clear. So let it always be remembered that you are able to make an impact. This administration, just major announcement regarding H-1B visas. Here.
What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers.
This pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, do you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land.
Yes.
Train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here.
And I'm going to provide you with some references to substantiate, by the way, the claims that he just made, along with I think this is a very necessary policy. Before that, you guys, in case you've forgotten, these degree mills in India, they sold more than 36,000 fake degrees for would-be H-1B beneficiaries. Less than 2% of H-1Bs are checked for compliance annually. Less than 2%. And we're going to get to, remember we heard the argument, who's going to pick our lettuce? Well, then it switched to who's going to do our highly skilled engineering job here, for which we have actually one of the highest unemployment rates of American-born citizens. See how it shifts? They always want cheap labor at your expense. Hopefully, with this new policy, we're going to see a mass expulsion of unnecessary H-1B workers. Yeah, we don't apologize for it. Now, before I get into these numbers here, and like I've told you, references are always available every show. I please encourage you to check them out and fact check me on it. And if we're wrong, we admonish all of us, usually Gerald. Just think about these subjects today. Whether you agree with him or not, whether you agree with his approach or not, President Trump, this administration, collectively, the UN. All right, let's say that you think he's rude and you disagree with his method, his approach. Who's he fighting for there? The American worker, the American taxpayer, having their own tax dollars used against them in the form of mass illegal immigration. Right here, H-1Bs. Who's he fighting for with this policy here? What American citizen here, who's already here, whose family is here, what American is negative? No, he's fighting for American jobs. You may not agree with, and that's true, sometimes his approach is wrong. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the strategy taken can backfire. Yeah, but he is consistently fighting on behalf of you, the American worker. And the leftist hates that. The leftist hates that. I want to be very, very clear. They would pick out of a lineup an H-1B migrant or an MS-13 gang member here over you. For proof, see Sanctuary Cities. For proof, see their proposed policy of amnesty of pathway to citizenship. For proof, see what they wanted to do with the census. They literally wanted to count people to cancel out your political sway. They wanted to redistrict lines, including people who should not be here, which, by the way, is the culmination of all of their policies in tandem with organizations like the UN, bringing more illegal immigrants here. You may not like Donald Trump. You may even think he's a bombastic prick. But even those who believe that, their main criticism toward Donald Trump is that he fights for American workers too hard. That's a good place to start. For those who don't know, H-1B, it's that lottery system, right? And before we get some other numbers, H-1B, putting a $100,000 fee on the person who's selected from the lottery, that is just going to give some of these companies who want cheap labor pause. It's, oh, wait a second. I'm not just going to buy more tickets, submit more people to the lottery, right? You increase your chances of winning the lottery. I better make sure, since I'll be on the hook for $100,000, that I really need this person. And by the way, there is an appropriate instance where maybe you need some hyper specially skilled worker who you can't find in your state, in your country. Then it should be no problem to pay that fee because it will yield dividends, but that's not what's happening. So let me give you some numbers. In 2025, there were 135,000 H-1B approvals. 71% came from India, 17% came from China. All right, that's the country breakdown. As far as the company breakdown, Amazon got 12,000. Tata is a real thing. It's an Indian consulting firm, 5,500. Yeah. So biggest countries, the biggest recipients, India, China, Amazon, and an Indian consulting firm. It's time for Eye on India.
What's that smell?
All right.
It's India.
Yes, of course, it's India.
He answered the question.
I don't know what this next. What this next clip is. Just roll it. I'm sure it's relevant.
So they're cracking down on H-1B visas. This is what America always does, though. You know, like they had the Chinese build the railways, Mexicans build the freeways, and then they had Indians build the information superhighway.
Wrong.
And then when it's all done, they're like, we're good here, Randy. Thank you. Thank you for the internet. Thank you for social media. We're good. Thank you.
Crazy turn of events. My boyfriend had to get up out of our Italian pasta making class in Rome and leave. I kid you not, leave. Not the class. Leave Rome because of the whole H-1B.
You're still there.
That's because they wouldn't let you stay in Rome.
Saturday at midnight.
The new H-1B rule will hit America harder than India, and here are 3 ways how. First is healthcare. Indian doctors make up 6% of US physicians.
Too high.
They'll be gone. Good.
Innovation. Startups and smaller tech firms may struggle to hire engineers and coders. Number 3,
they won't.
fewer
Good.
Indian students will think of going to the US to study.
A lot of
I
the
can only get so
American
erect.
companies
Perfect.
will, in a phased manner, try and fire immigrant employees and try to start creating
Turtle.
dependency on American employees.
This visa fee, it's not about jobs. It's an economic threat. And the worst part, he has
Thank God
changed
for
the
subtitles.
game. India did not react when he imposed 50% tariffs. But now he is playing blitz chess with Indian people as pawns.
Sure,
Let's just-
while it would maybe be ideal to hire American and keep those jobs here, there are just not enough skilled American workers to fill those jobs.
I know you've been told this, right? Just like you were told, hey, that was the case in the trades. Have you guys seen this? Trade enrollments are going up. Like record increases this last year. Turns out Americans will do it if there's a viable path to a career.
Yeah.
There's no viable path because someone is willing to work, often with a fake degree, through some headhunting agency that takes a cut, 16 families in a bungalow for slave wages. Yeah, there's no path for an American to live the American dream. So let's get to this. Key fact 1 here. Let's
But
break this down.
there's not enough Americans that can do the job.
Exactly.
Said the fat lady in bed.
Yes, exactly. They say there's not enough Americans. You have no Americans to pick lettuce. And now you have no Americans to code. Hey, who created Meta, Facebook, Instagram? We look at all these big tech companies. Where did the innovation take place?
But who's going to work all these bot accounts?
Yeah, exactly. We have millions, just to be clear, millions of unemployed Americans who could use a job, specifically in that sector. So current number of unemployed Americans who want a job, 6.4 million, okay? Current number of H-1B holders, about 730,000. We don't need a single one. That's it. It's over. It's done. But I'll give you more info in case you need me to bolster the case. Key fact number 2. Computer engineering, computer science majors, and this is surprising to many people, are among the most unemployed in the country. So computer engineering, the unemployment rate is 7.5%.
Learn to code, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Computer science, the unemployment rate is 6.1%. Crazy enough, compare that to art history, only 3% unemployment. Ethnic studies, only 2.6% unemployment. Earth sciences, only 1.5% unemployment. And the number one unemployed major, actually, at 9.4% is anthropology, which is the study of human societies and cultures and their development. But luckily, these Indian H-1B visa holders have helped us find the missing link. There you go.
Don't be a Grookey.
For those on audio. Hey, at least your evolution of man didn't skip leg day.
It's true. Yeah. True. I mean,
so we have more Americans who are looking for a job than H-1B holders. And specifically in the sector that we're told, well, big tech, there just aren't enough people, has one of the highest unemployment rates. And then that brings us to the real reason why big tech companies actually want H-1Bs, and people like Vivek and Elon Musk want them completely uncapped, unlimited. H-1Bs lower wages for Americans. That is definitive. There is no debate about it, especially in the tech sector. So 60%, when it is 60% of all H-1B jobs are well below the median wage in that category. Let me give you an example. So like tech salaries. So a software programmer or developer, okay? The median salary for an American worker is $144,000 a year. Median H-1B, $100,000 or less.
jeez.
And there's, up until now, there's really no penalty. There's no payment. Well, why wouldn't you take a foreign worker? They'll take less money. In many cases, they'll take significantly less money. Something else that you guys need to know when we're talking about Americans, the inflation rate outpaced wage growth for tech workers. Tech wages went up about 1.2%. Inflation, 3%. So that's where people like Bernie occasionally have a point that, yeah, the American wage has not gone up. In this case, but it's because of left. What would his solution be? Well, he believes in effectively open borders, as the left does. Bring in people from the third world. Let me ask you this. When you get people who come from the third world and you get to the point where they make up a significant percentage of the American population, or God forbid, a majority, do you think that our wages, that our quality of life is more or less likely to become third worldly as you change the makeup? You can say racism. It's this simple. Do you want the United States to be more like the United States or more like India? Because the more you bring in people from India, from these nations that still look like India, the more we will become like India. They need to pay a premium to get to the greatest country in the world. India, you guys, look, put your money where your mouth is. It's time to shit or get off the street.
It's like putting hot dogs in boiling water.
Yes.
Of course it's going to be hot dog water.
Yes, exactly.
Don't you want just water?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes after a good run, I want hot dog water.
I never want hot dog water.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Nobody ever does.
All right.
I pour it on my enemies.
Yeah. So this is where we are, right? People going, I can't believe this H-1Bs, and they'll try and tell you these folks are the best among us. You don't know if they have a real degree. You don't know if they're even qualified to do this job. We certainly have no metrics that show us they're better than Americans. They bring down wages, and they keep Americans unemployed and prevent them from entering into that work sector. Here's the conclusion for you. We don't need any of them. We can't verify any of them. We have not been verifying any of them. And when we do verify the occasional 1 or 2%, they're worse than American workers. But they cost less.
Yeah.
Well, that's done.
I'm glad Donald Trump is taking this, because the president needed to step up on this issue, because he had people in the tech industry saying the only way that the United States can keep up is if we bring more H-1Bs in.
Right.
By the way, 70-something% India, I cannot imagine on any planet where you would bring in so many people. It's almost like bringing in people from the USSR in 1982.
Right.
But I mean, I don't think that that's something that we would be likely to do. But it's actually not 17%. It's 11.7%. It was written incorrectly for you, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Admonish me, sorry. 11.7%. I said 17.
No, it was written incorrectly. You're fine.
No.
You need to admonish research.
No, admonish me.
Oh, come on,
I will take it.
Me every time. I'm the correction. Son of a gun.
Guys, here's the thing. These things happen. We just won't lie to you. 11.7, 17%. CNN's never going to
Well, the point was that India was the highest, and obviously it's a gigantic drop-off to our biggest competitor, but potentially militarily and for sure economically in the world. Why are we bringing them in?
Why are we bringing in any Chinese?
No Chinese at all.
It makes no sense.
Zero Chinese.
Zero Chinese.
What's the specialty?
For Chinese?
Yeah.
Trinkets.
What do you think?
What do they do best? Number 17?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, literature. I don't know. What do you think it is? Tech? Math? One of the two. I don't think we're bringing anybody else. Basketball. That's what they do best.
Having small hands.
Yes, that's true. That's why they make such great tchotchkes.
They're not all Yao Ming.
Yeah, novelty shops. I like that. It's fun. You know, when my kids go to the arcade, they get a little prize with like 14,000 tickets, gets you a cardboard airplane.
$38 later.
Yeah.
What do they come over here and make American-made shoes, like Red Wings?
Yeah.
I don't.
What is it they do?
Yeah, exactly. Why do we need them here? And
We don't.
not only that, why do Americans who are trained, who have done everything that you've said, why don't they deserve a shot? Is their mistake that they went into a field that actually should lead to gainful employment, like tech and engineering, as opposed to art history? That's when you know our system is broken, just to be clear. You need these people, and you want these people doing these jobs. Yeah, you want Americans doing these trade jobs. And this is a big problem, too, is we've denigrated these jobs so much, going, hey, go to the Ivy Leagues and get a degree, get something where you work with your brain, not your hands. Oh, sorry, highest unemployment rate. And people who work with their hands, who are carpenters, who are plumbers, who are electricians, they make great money. And wouldn't it be great to know that your neighbor is the one working on your house? That's what it used to be. It doesn't mean that no one's allowed to come here. It means that right now we have a lot of Americans who are struggling. Why is it considered empathy to care about people struggling from a nation that has never gotten anything right, and not empathetic to care about the people here who've actually tried to do all of the right things, made all of the right decisions, and got some tough breaks?
Your literal neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah,
Make it that simple. Someone else from somewhere else, or someone you know.
Right. Yeah. We want to be soft on crime, but hard on computer engineers here.
Yes.
Kick them in the teeth. This is the left. And this is what I tell you. Progress for the sake of progress, it cannot be logically consistent. And this is why you see in this country, when people say it's the party of the rich, Republicans, that's not true. Billionaires, they support overwhelmingly Democrats. We've given you those numbers, especially in big tech and media. 44%, depending on the year, 43 to 47% of Americans who pay nothing in federal income tax, and they net benefit from your taxes, they vote left. Everyone between billionaire and no federal income tax, overwhelmingly Republican. What does that tell you? And by the way, which group of people do you want to build a society upon? Which one do you think is going to be stable? A number of billionaires who want to be too big to fail, you can count on both hands, effectively. The people who are perpetually unemployed, who for 10 years have not worked, they will not work and will game the system, or people who put on their shoes every day and go to work regardless of how fun it feels. They want to make an honest living. That's the forgotten man, to be clear. It's not like the Great Depression. The forgotten man is the man in the United States in the 21st century who's done everything right according to the prescription and wants to work, wants to yield fruit from his planted seed. That's the forgotten man. We've been thinking so much about empathy for this man, right? The people who pay nothing in taxes. Both people here who don't work, don't contribute, and think it's a violation of their fundamental civil rights to take Fanta off of Snap, and people who've never worked here or paid taxes, who are fleeing a country where a third of them crap in the streets. Those are the people we focused on. Meanwhile, we have plenty of good Americans who aren't looking to game the system and are looking to make a living. But you know what? That's not sexy. Their votes are a little more tough to purchase. It's hard to buy the vote of a man who says, let me do what I do, take as little of it from me as possible, and let me protect my family and provide for my family. That's the forgotten man. And when you forget about that man for too long, you want to talk about the angry black man stereotype? Ooh, boy, you don't know what the angry white middle class man looks like in a country when no one remembers them for decades. Let's not get there. Let's just do the right thing now. $100,000 for H-1B visas for people who are replacing American jobs at lower wages. That's a good start. Making the UN pay the piper as far as funneling American taxpayer dollars to open up our borders and flood us with additional illegal immigrants. That's a good start. Let's start remembering the people who built this country, regardless of race, color, creed, people who want to contribute and reap the rewards of it. Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something is missing by now. I'm not here. That's because the Live Daily Show is now streaming exclusively on Rumble weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tune in there, where nothing is censored.